somewhere up in there. I like the fact that it's all open.
Looking for the mountains.
Pretty amazing.
For that wild place.
I'm up in the saddle now.
The mountains. Looking for them wild places. Yes. The casket checkers back on the scene.
Back on the scene.
Here we go. We're leaving on a backpacking trip from the Kurt cabin on foot. Adios. All right, made it to the trees. Here's a dry creek bed. Basically, just gonna follow the bottom of the slope to a road and another creek. There's definitely gonna be water in that one. And here's an animal path. We'll be looking for bear signs for sure. Here's the road. Came from this way. And now the creek is back here somewhere. And I'm just gonna head straight for it and look for a camp spot. Got me working for this one. I thought I'd cross the creek by now. Guess I'm just gonna keep going this way. There are faint trails through here, animal trails, and I've pretty much just seen deer and elk signs. I fall back on a philosophy of mine, and it's just to go for the biggest, coolest tree, and it's that one right back there. And then I see this. Somebody's been sleeping here, probably just recently. Well, it is the coolest, biggest tree so far. And that creek has just got to be right back in there, because it just slopes up after that. Here we got the water down here. And that was why I was having trouble hearing it. It's in this deep ravine here. Okay. I'm not going to camp down there. Too much of a chance that animals are coming through, and plus I want to be away from the noise of the water. Maybe right in here. Let's see. Some nice grassy spots in here. Oh, this might just do. And right across the creek we've got some springs. Well, that's where the tent is going. Got the big pack. Got the bear can in there. I've got mosquitoes bugging me. here's the deal. This is walking distance from where my base of operations is, and maybe 1.5 miles. And this is a wild location with the creek right here. It's pretty awesome that I can just walk to this place. Yeah, here's the thing, man. I'm looking at spending 7 nights away from the cabin. We've got guests in the main building. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. But the thing is, we're going to get rain all day tomorrow. And then the next day, 40%. And it's going to be cold. We're looking at some freezing temperatures, snow possibilities. Up higher, definitely snow up higher. I'm not sure what kind of accumulations they're getting, but at 9,500 feet, they're talking snow. And that's why I wanted to stay down low in elevation for the warmer temperatures and away from the snow. And eventually, what's going to happen, the road goes up to what's called Two Top Peak. So I've got that possibility of climbing that one with a trail there. And man, I got lucky. Right here is the perfect camp chair. Right here with my tent. It's going to be right here. June 8th. Yeah, summer's starting. We got this wet cold snap, and then things will warm up. Alright, I've got my roomy Sierra Designs clip flashlight tent. It's going to keep me warm. All set. All set to get rained on as well as I can be prepared. Woohoo! Yeah, it's getting wet in here. It's not a rainproof tent. I Scotch guarded this tent and probably have only used it like a few times since then. So the Scotch guard didn't wear off. I just don't think it worked. Alright, so the issue is these screens. The rainfly has water seeping through, and the water is like dripping onto the screens. The front isn't so bad. I've kind of got it under control. But the bottom, I realized, was just soaking right through the ventilation screen. The bottom of my sleeping pad is wet. The floor is wet. And so I've kind of pushed the backpack up as a barrier. You can see this is wet here. It sucks. Now this vintage bag is Gore-Tex layered. So theoretically, the down shouldn't get wet. It feels dry inside the bag. The bag isn't so wet. It felt wet when I realized what was going on, so I pulled back, put this barrier up, and it's just almost 1 p.m. and I've been getting sprinkles. We just had a hard rain come through, and I think that's what was causing the problem. Up until then, it was just minor drips here and there. The center of the tent is dry. The floor in the center is dry. Underneath the pad is dry. It just feels damp and cold. So I've got this island that I'm staying dry on. Yeah, we got a wicked storm cell coming through. And I just had a lightning instantaneous crack right above me. And I take back every bad thing I said about this tent. You know, I'm getting those splatters through the screen, but for what it's holding up through right now is pretty amazing. Nothing is coming in on the sides. It's just coming through the screens. We had hail at the beginning. Well, get ready for a surprise. It's passing. That's good. Come on then. Oh boy. Oh boy. That was a mean one. Okay. Well, I'm warm and dry. And that's I guess more than I could ask for. Finally we got the sun. And something really exciting happened. I didn't move from this tent all day. Okay, so yesterday was storm day. Today was rain from 10 in the morning till about 3. I fixed a hot meal. And I really just want the tent to dry out and the forest to dry out a little bit. Going up tomorrow. It's going to be a cold night, down to freezing. It's chilly now. This is Twin Creek down here. I looked on the map. And we're going to hook into Targhee Creek, which was actually that dry creek bed I crossed a couple days back. There's my warm-up. Yeah, I've been waiting for that. Waiting for a sunny day. We were close to freezing in the tent. Maybe 35 degrees. The sleeping bag did really well. This Moonstone down bag. Well, we're gonna get coffee. Get going here. Nice to be upright. Motivation is building. Still a chill in the air. Expected high today is 60 degrees. Drying things out, the air pad and the backpack. This location, real nice place for solitude. Animals, there were some deer just a few. One or two was snorting deer. Maybe down in this creek draw. The first night I heard an elk bugling off in this direction. And I did hear, I think it was the second day, early morning, some grunting, just a few grunts down here. And that would be indicative of a bear. Nothing up here, nothing real close. Okay, taking off here. And I say goodbye to these trees that were dripping water on me all night. I bless you. I hope you get nice and big. Well, tell you what, off trail, back country, you find yourself an animal trail going your way. Best to take it. Even though I didn't really want to climb this slope. Either the road is up there or it's a logging track. Right here's the road, and my camp was close, quarter of a mile this way. The view of Two Top Mountain with a dusting of snow on it, and I think the trailhead is around the back, and I guess that's where we're looking to get to today. Here's a nice creek here, nice fresh water coming down. And the other thing is, just here's looks like the beginning of a trail. Just gonna walk up this and see, and then I'll look at the map. But my map doesn't show any trails. And so what I think the trail was or is, it's just kind of like the funnel for animals to come down for that water. And what I also think is that this is kind of the spine of the mountain, Twin Top. I can see some trees way up high there, through the trees. But what I saw, yeah, there's the top right up here. I see some snow. So this would be an easy ad hoc route to climb up this to this peak. It's right straight through here. The reason being is that it opens up. You've got multiple open slopes as it goes up towards the top. Well, after looking at the map, this is the beginning of Twin Creek. And it just starts maybe 100, 200 yards up this way. And so I've got quite a bit more to go compared to how much I've come up. That's okay. Real nice water here. It would be interesting to follow it back to see how far it goes and see if there's some nice meadows. Here's another view of Twin Top. Getting close. Got some open meadows coming up here. Well, at least I won't go thirsty. Still walking the road. Starting to feel it. This pack is getting heavy. Here we are. Getting back into my backcountry wild nemesis, the willow shrubs. And they just like make perfect hiding places for big animals. Close. And I got to thinking that maybe that whole back end of this water riparian area is just full of this stuff. It's gotta be. Okay. This is nice to see. I like these open meadows that are dry. You know, camp spot potential right here. And we've got water draining from a spring somewhere back here. I just don't know how much farther this goes. There's Twin Top, not that far off. The ridge coming down this way. Yeah, I guess this is pretty. Nice and open. You know, you sit somewhere for long enough time, you'll see an animal. My issue is the water I need is in the middle of all this. Alright, I'm feeling optimistic now. Right down here it looks like an open crossing of the water. Maybe a chance to get water. This is the back end of it, of this basin. And just over here I can see Twin Top with open meadows climbing up, which just might make a backcountry route workable to get there tomorrow. Now, what would be nice is to find an established camp spot back here. Maybe a table with something to sit on and a fire ring. And I'm just going to have to remember this, because I'm not carrying any water with this pack. And there's the straight on approach, which really doesn't look bad at all. I just want to make noise with that whistle if I go through there. And I thought maybe there was some water back in here. And it looks like this curls around this marsh. Just looking for a place to set the tent. And I guess this is pretty cool. Well, here it is. This is great. I'll just get it right over here. And I brought my cooking cup right here to scoop it up. Even though I can hear it falling back there. I might be able to get back there. Because see, if I dirty the cup, I gotta really clean it. Alright, this is a relief to find. And my gear is just over the bottom of these trees. Oh boy, am I tuckered. But I got my zone. It's gonna work. Took me a while to find a good placement. A lot of the ground up here is still wet and cold. I'm famished. I need to eat. I've needed to eat for about 2 hours. The bear sign indicative of bears in here. So I'm going to cook my meal downwind somewhere, maybe over here on this log. Except it'll be right in the breeze. We got a strong breeze coming this way, and I kind of got a block here with the trees. We'll have to find a different spot. And it's nice with this placement to have a view possibly of animals out on this meadow and on the other side. Something extraordinarily cool that you can't encounter or find anything like this coming up here on a dirt bike, a quad, or your Jeep. Walking the road, I found this obsidian spearhead. This is a native, my guess is a Native American spearhead tip. There was no other obsidian around, and I did see some last week about 30 miles away, some tiny pieces, but this was just about to poke out of the road, and I turned around and scraped it, and I said, obsidian in this general area is rare. You might find a piece or two, but this I found is a real live spear tip weapon head. Is that a good sentence? I don't know, but it's pretty damn cool. Cascade Trekker. What a huge difference from being stuck in the tent in the rain by the creek for 2.5, 3 days. This was a pretty big hike with that heavy pack. It was 5.5 miles. The first bit was 2.5 maybe. There's the sign back there said Valley View 8 miles. So this is spring training part 2 for the Cascade Trekker. Okay, it's the next morning with an amazing warm-up, and it was chilly last night, close to freezing, I think, 35 degrees or less. Two things I didn't mention: we've got a colony of frogs down here. And we had the one sandhill crane making some noise, but that's like, a banquet location for these birds with all the frogs. The other thing was that nowhere along this road and nowhere up here in these meadows did I see an established camp spot. So they don't come up here to camp, which is really weird. No hunters camps either. Maybe farther back beyond where the road ended. Just kind of strange, I thought. Okay, I am gonna get up to this peak here. I'm leaving the tent set up, leaving the air pad full of air. My bear can is over here. The pack is set with my emergency health bag in there, rain jacket, 1 liter of water, some snacks, and the camera. And I'll be fully bear equipped, and I'll be taking the whistle, blowing it on the way. Alright, I'm just up from my camp, and when I first looked up this area, I said, hey, maybe there's some water draining. And there is a tiny bit. And with a little time, I could probably get enough out of it. Well, I'm looking for the path of least resistance. I got something through here. Haven't started climbing yet. Want to find an open slope. Coming up. Alright, no line of sight. Just through the forest. And I'm working on a good compass direction. It's exactly opposite of where the sun has been coming up. Yeah, this is kind of getting spooky. I haven't seen any footprints or signs yet. Maybe they're not up in here. Coming up! Here's another thing I do. If I see some snow, I'm going to put some footprints in it. You know, just in case I'm lucky enough to see these coming back. What I think I'm going to do is angle towards the ridge because there were some open slopes. There's a bit of a clearing. I can see about 80, 100 yards this way. And I think I see the top of the ridge. Zero animal signs back here. Maybe they're not coming back here. Probably the cats. Alright, so we're gonna get up this way. Okay. Got some clearing over here. It's a good sign. So far so good. Real nice. Found the clearing. Probably the ridge top over here. And I'm not sure where the top is. Maybe back over here. And with the view now, where I came from, right down there. Maybe a quarter mile through the forest. I'm getting some nice long distance views. That's why I'm up here. Get some nice views and not many clouds. And this is probably prime habitat for big animals up here. There's just no water. Yeah. So on these snowmobile routes, you find garbage. But that's a monster bear turd right there. And that, my friends, is fresh today or yesterday. And the bear marked this area. Been trying to dig into this. Whatever it is. Hey! Hard to say what's in there, but I'm gonna look. And I'm tempted to turn around. That's a big one. And I can see here, open ridge line, climbing up. Yeah, so this is bear zone, not my zone. Hot shit, I found a stash. I'm gonna take it all. And leave it for the bear to come back and tear it apart more. But he marked his territory. I think I'm just gonna maybe go up here, get my films, and bail out. Wow. Here's the highlight of this trip. Maybe even with finding that obsidian spear tip. Alright. right next to this honkin' bear turd, which is from today or yesterday. Here's a stash fallen off of a snowmobile. Emergency stuff, gloves, a bunch of tools, multi-tool, Allen set, survival candle. Here I've got 2 hats, goggles, a torch, and the coolest of all is I now own a Garmin. Hot shit, this is probably worth $100. I was going through all this stuff hoping there was a firearm in there, but I've already got one. It's a bit moldy and smells like pee. Some of this stuff smells like pee. I'm gonna at least take all this stuff down to the road, and I guess the best way is to pack it back up into this box. Yeah. Leave it to the Cascade Trekker to find somebody's forgotten stash. Well, I guess I'm still climbing. And the top is the Rocky Mound up there. Maybe I'll get there, we'll see. Keeping a nice open causeway in case any animals pop out. Here's another bear pile. This is not as fresh. Still fresh, not as fresh. Yeah, if I was a bear, I'd like to be up here myself. No footprints though, just poop prints. This is as far as I'm going. Maybe a third of a mile more to the top. After the bear signs, 2 piles of poop here, I don't want to go through the forest. Okay, I've got nice line of sight back down to the stash I found, and it's just a straight shot through the forest, and my camp is right down this way. And so I'm just gonna rest up here a minute, go look at the map and see what mountains are what, get some photographs. Yeah, it's an amazing place. The direction I can't see is west through the trees here. Kind of wanted to get a view of Taylor Mountain and the Centennials, but this is good enough. We've got some mountains east and west, east and north. I'm thinking these are the Absaroka Mountains. Here's another grouping of mountains, and that's more north, slightly east, probably in Montana, and my map doesn't go that far to name those. Here's some nice craggy mountains, and that's more in a north direction. too far outside of my map. Nice looking craggy mountains there. Over this way, closer, which I hope to investigate here in the next few weeks. Lion's Head is in there somewhere. Targhee Peak and Bald Peak. Maybe get a better location for filming. Right back in there. Yeah, real nice jaunt up here. Well worth it. I think it was mostly the fear factor holding me back. Blowing that whistle really makes a difference for me. Just my comfort zone. And we're just gonna head right back down, sort through the gear. It's a lot to carry. I won't be carrying everything, but I will be carrying some things. And I'm just gonna leave that huge box down by the road with all the excess things I don't want. I'm telling you, it's gonna be tough for this old gear pack rat. Hey, but there's a pair of gloves in there. All right, gonna get another shot of these mountains over here. Henry's Lake Mountains with Targhee Peak, Bald Peak, Lion's Head. Yeah, that's like one of the next few outings is just right over here. All right. Real nice back there. And I think that's Bald Peak. Lion's Head, it might be over that way. The next high peak. Yep, here we go down now. Right down to there. Yeah, good to be back at camp. Just that one last lucky turn cut me over this way into this meadow. It wouldn't have been too bad. The road curls around and I would have eventually came down this way. And so this is the gear that I found. Just took everything out to figure out what I want to keep and what I don't want. There's always the concern of carrying extra weight the 8 miles out. And honestly, what I'm looking at taking is not much. Okay, we've already mentioned the Magellan GPS map device. All right, it's a Garmin GPS Map 66i, and it didn't power up. All right, keeper for sure. I'd mentioned earlier this stuff was peed on and I think maybe even the bear peed on it. So all of the cloth stuff smells like pee. I don't need a hat. I don't need a hat. Now these would be nice to give away. I'm looking to find new friends near that new place I'm living. I'm not hauling those out. I don't have anything. I have one Ziploc bag that I have plans for, and I'll tell you. I don't need these. I don't need these. These are really nice. I'm going to consider keeping these. So that's going to go down here. This multi-tool, maybe. I'm going to look at all the gadgets on it. Not going to keep this. I'm going to keep this. This is pretty cool. It's a survival candle, and there's matches in there. So we'll keep that. This was the bag for the Garmin hand warmers. Now I think these are still good if the package has not been opened. So we'll put that in the keeper. Paracord. I'll keep that. Okay, this medical kit, everything in it is pretty much soaking wet. I don't need a pair of scissors. Nothing in there I want. I don't need this cold compress. Here's a flashlight, and the battery was still good and it turned on. We'll put that in the keeper. A bright stick. I'll think about it. A couple screwdriver tools. Don't need. This wrench set I'm probably going to keep. I have some wrenches, and these are all metric. I think these are all metric, which would be great for the motorcycle. So yeah, there's some. I'm going to keep this wrench set. I don't think I'm going to keep this. I have one. Spark plugs. Here's a crappy knife. Zip ties. I'll keep the zip ties. Don't need this. I don't have one of these, so I'm going to keep that. This Allen wrench set. I just bought a loose set, and I don't need that. Don't need that. And so that's it. It's a pretty amazing find. And what I'm choosing to keep is going to be negligible weight. Now, the ticket would be to have somebody come through here in their side by with room for me to go back down part way and say, hey, look, here's a bunch of stuff I found. Because I really don't want this stuff making garbage up here, especially this emergency medical kit. There's one thing here I might look at keeping. I think this is an ad hoc fire starter kit. Alright, it was wet in here. But I think these are like fire starter sticks, which I'll keep these two. There's two of them in there. Alright, that's my story. I don't want to stay here another night. It's really nice, but that wind gets going and it's nasty cold. I want to get down. It really took a bite out of me last night. All I could do was just eat, situate as fast as I could, and go into that sleeping bag and fall asleep. It just took it out of me. So I'm gonna pack up, put this stuff away, sort my stuff I'm keeping, and start going down the road. Yeah, I'm heading out, going back down. Really turned out to be a great adventure back here. I got up to there and we had 2 side-by-sides come through, 4 guys, young guys, and they took the extra snowmobile stuff. That's great. Okay, here we go. Here it is. Alright, this is the end of day 5. Surprisingly, 5 days, and I'm not feeling real funky because I've spent the first 3 days in a tent. Didn't move, didn't sweat. Alright, but today I did. The road, right down here. We've got 2 creeks meeting here. Alright, so we're just gonna call it right in here. Another thing is we've got the mosquitoes back. Alright, I had them the first night and 2 nights near freezing, froze them out. Today, nice and warm, nearly 70 degrees, they're back. Okay? And if it rains, they're gonna hide out. So it's just like, it's the cycle. And they're not so bad. You know, it's not a hatch intensity. And if they're just bugging a little bit, I'm all right with that. Well, there. It's the last morning. It's a chilly morning. Thankfully dry. No warm up today. The sun is coming. I'll get it by the time I'm walking. Probably like 45 degrees right now. Nothing else to report. Just the bit of adventure that has accumulated on this trip was nice. The exercise, nice. And I gotta say, that pack is really heavy. My guess is the tools that I've added to it. And that candle, 5 pounds. Yeah, and the Garmin, 5 pounds. So after all the food that I've taken out of the bear can and eaten to lighten the load, my guess is that it's heavier now than when I started. By the map, it looks like 3 miles, but it's probably like 4. Okay, we're gonna go back and recharge, charge the batteries, clean the gear, and get ready for another Cascade Trekker adventure.
Into the